Welcome back to OPTCG Central, your hub for all things One Piece card game related. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. It really helps us bring you more One Piece TCG matches and more.
Don card on your leader, and you've got an 8 cost. And remember, there are some Rev Army cards which you might play them for a lower cost, but then they gain cost onto them, making them higher cost when they're on board than they are to play. Makes this a very, very interesting deck indeed.
For sure. Looking at the lists, it probably won't get played here. What's really interesting, and it's a common thing in Sabos now, is they're running 2 of the Saint Mars as well. Because obviously Saint Mars isn't, none of the Celestial Dragons are always like leader lock directly, and Mars is not. So allowing the KO, and I know you have to trash a card to do it, but one of the things, in case people don't know, Sabo does a lot of plays from trash. So like it likes to work with costs and it likes to work with trash.
So yeah, it'll be an interesting matchup. And as you see, there's a minus 1k on that leader immediately. Jay just having a look at the hand, and so's Tom before deciding whether to mulligan or not.
Be interesting to see who is the first player. Both decks really like to go second in this matchup. Sabo's second curve very strong with the new Secret Sabo from OP13 and the Dragon which came out from Koala. So allowing the ability to play a Sabo from trash.
Yeah, absolutely. Very strong card indeed. As you stated, it's got on play. Place 3 Rev Army type cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck. And then you get play a character of 6 or less from your trash, which is a really, really strong ability. 8 costs, 8,000 power, but obviously if you've got Don on your leader, that's going to be a 9,000 power. Having that red Rush Dragon, the ability to play that as well, comes on the board if you got a Don attached to your leader, which again, Dragon can put the 2 Don onto your leader. Dragon then suddenly becomes a 10k rusher and makes your leader an 8k swing as well. So really, really nice combinations you can do in this deck, utilizing all those Rev Army cards we've seen from OP05 onwards. Obviously, we saw Bello Betty, then we've seen Koala come into the fray as well, and now this Sabo is really going to make things interesting as well. Our stream judge is Moses. I saw a glimpse of him when the players were sitting down, one of our fellow commentators who you might have seen at Cardfest last year with us commentating. And we are looking forward to Cardfest, aren't we, Levi? Coming up.
We are indeed.
Not too long to go.
Not at
Is it
all.
3 weeks away?
Must
Was
be
it 4?
just short.
Yeah, not too
We are
long
close.
to go. Last chance qualifier on the Friday for 3,000 One Piece players who haven't made it into the European Championship finals. They'll get a final opportunity to try and make it through to those finals on the Friday. And then we will have 2 days of amazing action from all the Bandai card games in Dusseldorf. But let's go back to today. We have got Emu starting first, and our Sabo player here going second and starting off with that Koala search.
So it's look at the top 3 cards, pick a revolutionary type card, and then you put the rest in trash. So already starting to fill that trash. It's a very good early play if you don't have the stage or you have cards that you wouldn't want to use off the stage. So here you see he's taking that Sabo, as I mentioned earlier, the new Secret Sabo. So very strong, so very key. It's a 6 cost, but it has a fantastic activate main, which is give one of your characters +2. You can give it to itself, so it becomes an 8, and then give one of your rested Don to your leader, instantly activating that 6k power ability.
Yeah, and I love it when you get synergy with a card and a new leader in a new set. And this is definitely that with a secret rare of one of the 3 brothers. Sabo definitely does work really well in his own deck. So not really much happening here as far as Tom's concerned. No characters on board just yet. We are starting to build the trash up, and back to Jay, and he does drop the Morley down.
Already setting up, because that Morley is, if your leader is revolutionary, he gets +4, so he has an 8 cost on board already. Meaning next turn, instantly, which means that Morley's a 6k swing, and the leader still, if he's at 4 life, you know, is now a 6k swing, or it's a 7k if he gets pushed down to 3.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, once there's a Don underneath the leader, obviously, let's not forget that the leader ability does activate, giving the plus
Yes.
1k to all your characters and itself. We are
Interesting. This
seeing,
this feels very rough from opening plays from Emu here. That forced
yeah,
onto first curve, just not looking good.
not at all.
I feel like we might be seeing Sabo here. Yeah, exactly that. So the Sabo coming down, Sabo being able to now attach the Don onto the leader. He's going to become an 8. He's going to get the power, so he's a 6k swing. Morley's now a 6k swing, double 6k swings off the bat into Emu. Fantastic play with an 8k blocker next turn because of the Sabo. Very strong start.
Yeah, absolutely. So we now do have, yeah, well, just querying what's going on here. Obviously, the leader does get plus 1k now, so yeah, you could take the -1 off. I think we're just trying to figure out.
It's technically still there because it's
Yeah, because
4
there is
life.
4 life, and then you just got to put a +1 on it as well.
So it's because instead of it being a 7k swing, it's a 6. What would you say in the current board state would be? I know we're not on the Emu's turn yet. Would be a response here because at the minute, Sabo's just building a wide board, whereas
Yeah, you don't want to be taking this early life, so you do want to
no,
make sure. So yeah, I think just needs to be communicated to our stream judge that the Sabo did activate. Yeah, there we go. A bit of clarification. So yeah, just a bit of a fusion around what's on there. So 6k swing coming in. So 2k counter is needed. I think you would just, oh, well, he decides to take the life here, which you might regret a little bit later on because we are
second
going to
6k
see.
Quinn.
Yep. Let's see what he decides to do with this. You really want to counter out of this one.
And with that Sabo sitting there now, Mars can't pop it because it's a 6 cost, so you're having to rely on the event. But
Yep.
then, if you're unsure what Sabo does, if you pop that blocker, and then he rolls into 8 Don next turn, and he plays Dragon, and he gets the Sabo back from the trash, you've not really progressed anyway. It's a very strong combo in that sense.
Exactly. So did block that last attack. Came in from the Morley.
But what's going on here? Does he have the cards
Oh,
in trash?
he didn't have 7. I don't think he's only got 3 in trash. So we.
No,
So
but
they're
the
gonna.
on KO should still. Oh, for the blocker, right? If
Yep.
it's a blocker, that's very true. So he would have to counter here or take the swing.
So they're just putting the card to one side that he drew off that to try and recover the board state. That would be the card he'd draw next turn anyway.
But it's a dangerous position because you now know, oh, it's a 2k, I could get rid of this and I don't need it. Or it's a searcher because I'm looking for this card. But
Yeah.
in current situation, it's the best way to handle the scenario.
To handle the situation. Yep. So yeah, just to clarify, Warcry, Top Man Warcry, if you've got 7 or more cards in your trash, this character cannot be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, and it gains blocker. So it's not a natural blocker until you got 7 cards in your trash. But as Emu players, by the time you play it, you're generally in a good place, and you usually have about 7 cards, so you forget that it's not natively a blocker. So that's where our judge quite rightly intervened there, try to resolve the board state as best as he could, and we continue with the game.
What are we looking for here? Do we find the 5 elders? That's good.
Okay, we've now got 6 cards in trash. What's on?
But not many 5 elders, Taj. It's not looking good for our
Not
Emu player right now.
yeah, not a single 5 elder in there at the moment. Drops one in there now in the form of Walkery, and does the leader ability now. Draw a card. Still hasn't fired off the empty throne ability, so potentially if he does have something in hand, he could potentially play that.
It's a very tough situation we're in. You
Yeah.
know, if you've got to think here, he's blocking one attack with the Sabo blocker. So if anything, there's only one swing going through, which the Sabo player might just take help easily anyway.
Yeah.
But here he's swung into the Morley.
Yeah, he's going 8 into the Morley.
Okay, so he's responded with a 2k and a 1k. As I said there, the Mars, as some Sabo decks run. But in this case, it's going to be absolutely useless for the KO, which is primarily why we use it over the blocker.
Yeah, exactly. So, what have we got here? So, Jae now, starting off the next turn. As we were saying, as long as there's a Don attached to that leader, everything is going to become
And
plus 1k. And I think we're going to see 2 Don being attached to the leader, potentially.
It'd be interesting because the 6-cost Sabo can only attach Don to the leader, whereas Dragon can attach to anything. So I'm wondering if we'll see the 2 Don go to Morley, and then the Sabo will attach one to the leader. So then you could have a combo now of 8, 7, 8, 8, or 9. It'd be very strong. This is a very strong turn. If he swings with those 4 bodies, this is super pressure. And I think the Sabo player is in such a strong place right now. 4 life, 4 bodies on board. You can risk playing the Sabo blocker as a swing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. As you say, there's hardly much on Tom's side of the board to be able to deal with all of these characters. So yeah, you could potentially swing with everything. Put the pressure really on Tom to try and force him down to 0 life here with only 1 Don up.
He has left that
use
Don
one
up.
event. So he could
I
use
feel
an
like
event.
Here it comes.
Yep.
This is yeah, here we go. 8k swing. It's a really good showing from Sabo right now.
Yep.
And then he's going to finish it off with a 10k swing with the Dragon afterwards.
Yeah, 10k swing coming in.
This is, you think Emu's going to be pushing to 9 Don here, and he's down to 1 life, and the board state is just.
Yes,
what do you do? What do you do here?
Yeah, he's had a rough start, Tom, hasn't he? The
Very rough, yes.
Not finding the ideal pieces, and it's all going a bit too late for him now. And
is it the commentator's curse of saying Emu's too consistent? Have we hurt him here, Taj?
Well, I think it goes to show how strong this Sabo deck is, for sure.
Very much so. It could also be that the Emu player is using Sabo sleeves. The deck's just, on the Don. It's betraying him now. Be interesting to see.
Now we're trying to figure out. Okay, it looked like Tom was actually
behind on Don.
Yeah, he'd forgot to do his stop in 1 turn. Oh my gosh!
This is where fluster comes in. Sometimes, and we spoke about this a little bit before. When you go into a deck that you've not seen, because if you're playing in a locals and everyone's just playing Ace and Emu and Zoro, and you play into a deck you're unfamiliar with, and Sabo can do this. It can really catch you out.
Yep.
This is where the mistakes come in. This is where fundamentals are so important as a player and understanding.
Yeah.
Just take a minute, breathe. You've got time. We've got 18 minutes on the clock. You don't need to rush.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, and you know what? There's a combination of it. Obviously, playing a deck that you're not familiar with, but also being on stream as well. There's a lot of pressure when you're on stream. A lot of people don't understand it can affect your game as well. So Tom's on stream playing a deck that's very strong. Pressure's on him, and he's playing against the deck he's probably not familiar with. So he did miss it. But I always state practice at your locals. I always tell people when they shuffle their deck, whether they trust their opponent or not, always cut their deck. It's always really important.
Yes.
Remember the fundamentals when you start your turn. You refresh, don, draw, and always copy the consistency of that every turn. I always do Dawn, then draw, Dawn, then draw. So you don't miss those fundamental beginning of turns that you need to do. But we are now seeing Tom trying to make a bit of an impact. But is it too little too late here?
So we see Mars being dropped. Trash the Mars in the process to get rid of that Morley. So the question is now, is he going to go for a big swing, or is he going to like raw play out another body to try and apply pressure here? You know, he has to claw back here, and he doesn't know what the Sabo player has in his hand. He could play another Rush Dragon for all he knows and come in. So Shirahoshi's coming in, so he gets to now put cards at the bottom of his deck, and it will force the Sabo player to trash a card from hand if he has more than 6, which from looking, I believe he has 5. So
5?
this is interesting. And it says cards behind, but it does look like 5 from our perspective here. That's a very interesting choice there.
Yeah, very.
I'm wondering if that's once again nerves that we just spoke about getting the better of him.
Yeah, because you'd probably want to keep as many cards in your trash as possible at this stage.
Very much so.
Your deck's still very big. You're not going to be cycling through and seeing those cards that you're putting at the bottom of your deck anytime soon. You'd want to get your leader as close to being plus 1k as possible with those 19 cards in trash. But yeah, interesting decision there by Tom. So is now swinging with leader. Not sure how much Donny's attached there, but he is enough. It is enough to get rid of the Sabo there.
Is this now?
I think it was 10k swing into the Sabo, yeah. But as you stated before we even started, that the black dragon be really important here, can't it?
Yes, it can. And or is that another Rush Dragon in hand? Are we going to see another Rush Dragon play on that top draw? Just apply pure pressure.
Could very well see it here, couldn't we? Could even make Koala a viable swing if we. Let's see. You've got 2 rested Don on it. You'll commit 1 Don to your leader, and then
you're at 10. So like in realism, you could just do 10 swings here, and that would be
actually
so aggressive.
Especially with just the 1 Don open, yeah.
But he's leaving Don up. For those who don't know, Sabo runs 2 very nice events. One in the form of Black Vortex, which is obviously negate the effect of one of your opponent's leaders or characters and give minus 4k. And then another which is basically like Radical Beam, that if you have an 8 cost on board, you can get 4k counter.
Yep. Well, he can use that 2 Don on the Koala, as we stated. And
he's doing it.
And swing for 5 with Koala. So that's what he's going to do to begin with.
5, I always say, a 5k poke is always good. You're getting a card out of hand. You know, the maths of a 5, a 7, a 9. And we see it there. 1 card out. Now we see the 10. What would a Emu player do? So this is
Jae's still on 4 life, so this is
8?
8, yeah. No, 7.
7, yes.
Now we're seeing a 10. Decides to take this first one.
And then here comes
another 10k swing.
And it has to be the blocker here.
Yes, you have to block that one. And pass his turn.
But you're now in such a strong space because what you've got to remember as well is these characters gains that 1,000 power for your opponent's turn as well. So the 5 elders are surely coming. But then you're only going to be able to give a minus 2k to one of the dragons if you're going to do it. And then, yes, you're going to have leftover Don, but your opponent's got cards in hand here. You're going to be able to counter out and keep one, potentially one or maybe both of them alive. It's a very commanding place to be right now with Sabo.
Yeah, absolutely. Having that 4 life, very, very strong. And then as soon as he starts to take life after this, his leader is going to be a 6k leader that's going to have to be swung into.
Does he have all 5 elders in trash now at this point? That is the question. When we
That
saw early in the
is
game and he had
question.
none.
He has got trying to get an understanding of what he has got. So starts off swinging with leader. Happy to take that.
I'm presuming that means he has 19 in trash, because obviously... Oh no, because he's still only a 5k, because he was at 4. So he
Yep.
wasn't a 6k base, so that makes sense, 5 into 5. But now he becomes a 6k leader. So when the rusher comes down, even then at the 7k swing minimum, it's an easy 2k out. So I wonder if we'll see Don come on top.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Jae
here
now
we
having
see
to trash, and he does.
the stage. Fantastic card for Sabo, but at this point in the game, just useless.
Yeah, absolutely. Those of you not familiar, Rev Army HQ is you may trash one card from your hand, rest this stage, look at the top 3 cards, and reveal a Rev Army type card, add it to your hand, place the rest in the bottom of your deck in any order. So it is a good search every turn. If you've got a card in hand which isn't quite useful at this particular stage of the game, might have been useful earlier, you can now trash it, put it in your trash, and then search for something else. Or even if you have got, as we were saying, the black colored dragon card, you could put a powerful piece in your trash. You can then play out with the dragon, but get a free search as well at the same time. So useful stage if you did want to play it. But we are seeing the 5 elders now being played out, or should I say 4 of the 5 elders, because we did not have all the pieces in a trash, which is very unfortunate indeed.
It's very tough when you only see 4 come out instead of 5. You feel the tempo shift is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And it happened to be the searcher one as well, which means one less card in hand.
He bottom
So
decked it quite early on, which I was very confused about when he did the first Shirahoshi bottom deck for no reason. It was very confusing play.
yeah, it's just yeah, some interesting plays by Tom. So he is now
An
got the ability
11k
to,
swing.
yeah, 11k swing, can give something -2 as well, but he's not got anything to attack with after this. So
Interesting.
so yeah, it looks like it's 11k swing into the dragon, dropping it down to what would have been 8k.
It would have been 10 at that point, so then yeah, down to 8. Yeah, so you
Sure.
are correct there, Taj. It's very interesting. Unless he doesn't have the counter, I feel like the best play there for the Sabo player would have been to keep him alive, because then you
Yeah,
still could apply serious pressure here if you had both dragons, your leader, and the koala. No life. I think 1 Don open with 2 blockers, you could have really applied some very strong aggression.
yeah. But he did let it go. Not sure if he had the counter in hand. You can see 3 bricks in hand there.
Yes.
I think he just drew into one of those cards to counter, and he now is going to play the other 8-cost dragon. You should see the Sabo coming back out here.
So he has to pick 3 revolutionary cards and place them at the bottom of his deck from his trash. And then, as you said earlier, you are able to play a 6-cost or less revolutionary army out, which, as you said, I presume will be the Sabo, which it is.
Yep. So gets a blocker on board and 2 very decent sized bodies. One in the form of that 8,000 power dragon, which is obviously 9,000 with the leader ability, as that Sabo is going to be placing a Don underneath leader. And then the 7,000 power Sabo blocker, which is now 8,000 power plus 2 cost as well. So makes it out of reach for any removal that Tom may have in his deck.
And then you've got a minimum here of a 7 and a 10k swing coming at you with 2 Don left that could once again make Koala a 5k swing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So starts off with that 7k swing. That gets blocked. Card is drawn.
Such
the
a
KO
great
effect.
blocker. Such a
Yeah.
great blocker.
Jae now thinking what to do here. Do you swing? Yes. Okay, he's deciding not to go for life. He's going into the Nustero.
Interesting choices. He lets it go. That's very interesting. But obviously, being at zero life, sometimes these decisions need to be made in terms of just keeping a blocker there for safety.
Yeah, leaves a 2-don open. Does have big swings coming in next turn. Has removed the ability for Tom to be able to swing in with that Nustero and reduce that dragon by 2,000 power, which would have been useful, especially with all those elders currently being 7k.
But we see our first 5 Elder alt art of the day being played in the form of a Saturn, where he drew the event off.
Yep.
They are beautiful looking cards, Taj.
They are indeed, yeah. And then there are the special versions as well with the hockey on them, which makes them look insane with the silver foiling and the red hockey. It's just, stunning cards.
They are beautiful.
Yeah. And they can only be found in what we call a god pack, but it's essentially a pack full of alt arts, including that and the emu leader, all 5 of them as alt arts in one pack with the emu leader, and the rest of the pack being alt arts as well. Just insane if you get lucky enough to get one of those packs.
So
But we are now seeing leader effect, stage effect being played off, and it is a Nustero, which is a rush card. So now there are 4 swings potentially coming in. That Nustero will give that dragon minus 2,000 power, taking its 8 when it does swing. It's going to start off with an 8k swing into 8. 1k counter needed here.
The 4-cost blocker hack. Fantastic card in Sabo again. Very good into the Zoro matchup. Being able to KO a 4-cost on block is very strong. Would have been very strong here as well in the early game with how bad Emu's trash was early on.
Absolutely. Now going for another 8k swing into the dragon. Or is this into life? Yep, into the dragon, another hack being used to counter. 1 don left. Do you keep the don? It's a leader effect. Flashing the Nustero there. And Jae will probably be happy with that.
Very much so. This is a very strong space. You have you attach 1 don to leader, and instantly you're looking at, a 10, 9, 8k swing and a 7k swing from leader before you're even using any of the 9 don.
Yeah, exactly. And then stick some don on that koala and she becomes a really viable attacker as well. Imagine winning the game swinging with that 1-cost koala.
It's very possible here. I think we might see a game turn right here. Can he do it?
So we're swinging 9k with leader to begin with.
9k, such a deadly number into Emu because suddenly that event is 2 cards.
Exactly. It's going to force the 4k event plus 1 extra card from hand. So you're going to have to use Never Existed in the first place.
Oof.
What?
Oof.
That is
was
a
lot. Big counter.
Yeah, and that's a
very
big tell
telling
as well. Yeah.
That's a very big tell because now you could attach 2 don koala and swing 5 and force a very minimal counter out.
Yeah.
But instead we see a 10k swing with Sabo, which he blocks. And now at this point, surely he's got 1 don up, so you just attach the rest to a dragon. You attach it to the red dragon and swing. Is 5, so 15? Because then you've still got a 9k swing afterwards if there was some magical way to get out.
Yep. And that's it. Yep. And it's game to Jae there. Tom had a very awkward game there. Couldn't find the
Yes.
pieces that he needed early on. Threw him off his game a little bit as well. Obviously, not familiar playing against this Sabo deck, and we saw him make a few misplays throughout that match as well, as far as his Don was concerned. But Jay played a very, very controlled matchup there. Found the pieces that he needed to, and takes the win to go into round 3 undefeated with this Sabo deck that. Again, bit of an outsider, but a very, very strong deck, I think.
Yes, double rush dragon, just gonna be very strong into any deck. And the fact that they're 10k swings instead of 9k swings is already more aggressive because the force of the cards needed, is like an event and a 2k.
Yeah.
So you're already looking aggressive. So it's a very, very good showing from Sabo.
Indeed, yeah. Having your leader at that. The great thing is when that Don is on your leader, it's both players' turns. It's not just on your turn. So suddenly you've got a board which is so much harder to swing into. You've got a leader that you're having to commit an extra Don into. We all know how difficult swinging into 6k leaders is. You're almost as an opponent feeling one turn behind when you're playing against a